Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC, offers more value than any other good full-service real estate brokerage firm when it comes to the sale of your home. We offer at least 27 things that contribute to your home selling in the least amount of time at the highest price. To receive our free home selling pamphlet, email us at info@brooksanddavis.com or call 713-665-8329. We also assist people who want to purchase homes or who are interested in getting their real estate license. Visit us at www.brooksanddavis.com.
Hey, Prime Real Estate Network listeners, this is your man Larry W. Brooks. Myself along with Tracy with Perry Homes are going to be hosting a 2020 Vision Board Breakfast. That's right, this Saturday, November 9th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We want you to come on out. So take a moment to RSVP at LarryWBrooks.com. Again, RSVP at LarryWBrooks.com. If you haven't identified your vision clearly going into 2020, this will help you out. If you need reinforcement on your daily affirmations, this is going to help you out. If you need to keep attention on your intentions, this is going to help you out. Go RSVP, LarryWBrooks.com.
Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I urge you to do so at Prime Real Estate Rick. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, just search at Prime Real Estate Rick. You'll follow me, you get in contact with me anytime, man. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in, man. It's a great Thursday. We have an exciting show lined up for you. Today's show is entitled Your Annual Wealth Check. Because just like you're advised to see your physician every year to make sure that physically, spiritually, and emotionally everything checks out, we got to always keep an eye on our wealth, finances, and investments to make sure we're doing everything we can to set ourselves up now and in the future. As always, my co-host, who's live and in the building, known the worldwide as the Texas Real Estate King. He's a broker, an author, a serial entrepreneur. So, as always, I want to welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast my co-host, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's going on, brother?
Hey, man, I can't complain at all. As usual, I appreciate the warm welcome, Mr. Rick.
Hey, man, Pure Hustle fam in the building, bro. Represent.
Man. Shout out to Pure Hustle, man. ShopPureHustle.com. I appreciate y'all sponsoring me. You know, everything I got going on, they kind of taking part in it. So every time I have an opportunity, I have a speaking engagements, they're taking part in it. So, man, I appreciate you, Pure Hustle, man. Stay behind me.
Hey, man, it's good to see you in the building this week, man.
Wait, no. Let me shout out Houston, Texas, man. I see y'all go up to London, do what it do.
Oh, this boy
H-Time, Texas.
I see you go out there to do what you do.
Yeah, H-Time.
Hey, man, hey, look, I can't be mad at you ever, man, because I definitely like taking advantage of those half-price Papa John's pizzas the day after they win, so you know I'm not going to trip ever.
Shout out Papa John's. Show us some love, man. Get
Absolutely,
some sponsorship
man.
on here.
As you can see, the energy is very up and alive in the studio
We
today,
talking
man,
money
because
today.
me and Mr. Brooks have some very exciting guests sitting in with us today. It's not all the time where you have the opportunity and the pleasure to have true tastemakers and wealth builders actually sitting in studio live, giving you boundless tidbits and nuggets on how you could build your investing, real estate empire and set yourself up for the future. So I want to introduce the CEO and the Executive VP of Ops at G&G Wealth Enterprises. So for the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, I'd like to introduce and thank for coming in today, Mr. Ken Gilliard and Ms. Brittney Golden. How y'all doing?
We great. Happy to be here.
Everybody applause, baby.
Happy to be here.
Hey, man, thank y'all so much. I know how busy it is on Thursdays. It's funny. Larry and I, when we decided which day of the week to have our podcast on, we gave it a lot of thought. It's like, well, Mondays or Fridays, and we thought that Thursdays was a good day, but as we knew once we started doing the show in the real estate and investment industry, Thursdays is a heavy day for closings and deal making and contract signing. So I want to thank both of you all for carving a little time out your schedule to sit in with us today, man.
For sure.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, man, we won't waste any time, and I want to get straight to it. So this first question is for you, Ken. Let's talk a little bit about G&G Wealth Enterprises. What did you see in the market that motivated you to feel like you wanted to start something like this to educate and help people change their lives?
Right. So the way G&G Wealth started, actually was me and Brittney's vision. Was sitting in a class getting our property and casualty license. We both been doing insurance as well, and we wrote down our goals, and our goals for what was needed in the market and what was needed, period, both aligned.
Oh, wow.
Really. We literally would sit in this class. We wasn't really paying attention to we didn't pay attention to the professor at all.
He was boring.
He was boring, but we wrote down like 3 or 4 pages worth of goals and visions, and we literally created within a 2 or 3 day span, just basically based off of, the needs in the markets, just being that one-stop shop for real estate and insurance and financing and the whole 9 yards.
It's funny because when you're an entrepreneur and you're a business builder and a dream builder, sometimes you can feel like your ideas are so out of left field, and you can feel like you're so unique and different that nobody understands what it is that you see. But when you're able to surround yourself with like-minded people, you come to realize, okay, I'm not as crazy as I thought. So it's a true blessing that you were able at that time to meet a kindred spirit.
Absolutely.
So I want to ask you, Ms. Brittney, from your standpoint, as a female entrepreneur, as a businesswoman, in that same property, in that insurance class that Ken was discussing, what did you see in the market that was lacking, that you wanted to make sure your company could fill in those gaps?
Absolutely. What I saw was a need for people to be able to go to a place and be helped with multiple things. So, when we think about real estate, for example, there's not a lot of places where you can go to where you can find your realtor and your insurance person and your lender, right? You got to go, ask for referrals for a realtor, ask for referrals for a lender, ask for referrals for an insurance person. And so for me, I'm the type of person where you can get more out of me without all the chaos. So I just try to think of, solutions for people to just, like Ken said, come to that one-stop place. So G&G Wealth Enterprises is, a bundle of real estate experience, real estate services, insurance services, experience. Combined, we have about 7 years of experience together in all fields of insurance, and then lending, anything from residential to commercial.
And I want to make sure, and this question is for either of you too. And Ken, I know you and Ms. Brittney are really active in the community. You're out on social media, you're out networking. When you meet someone and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm really impressed with you all. I don't know what to do, but I know I want to start investing. What is the first thing that you do with those type of individuals?
Well, the first thing, obviously, I've learned that it's not don't give my card away only. It's an exchange of information. So first I want to be able to contact you and not only wait for you to contact me. And then secondly, whatever we may have going on, I always invite people to any type of events that I know about. Or if we need to do a sit down, Ken and I have both been on conference calls with people so that they can have a conversation with both of us, so that that's something that they don't have to schedule out 2 different time frames to speak to a realtor and a lender and an insurance person.
So you educate them.
Absolutely.
Education is the key to everything.
Okay, so they can sit down with you, schedule some time.
Absolutely.
You can go over all that kind of stuff. What do you, especially Ken, when you own a company like G&G and you have other business interests, when people ask you, Ken, what do you do? What do you? How do you explain it? Because I get that so often. Because cool thing is, I'm notorious for always keeping my realtor pen on, and with this cool little pen, it takes away all those kind of questions. But when you meet people out at all your networking events, and they're like, Ken, I've heard of you, and I've seen you on the social. What is it that you do? How do you explain it to them?
I'm just an entrepreneur, real estate entrepreneur. Whether you need lending, insurance, a realtor, I have everything dealing with real estate at my hand. Private money, whatever.
Absolutely.
I have everything at my hand. So I'm an entrepreneur. People ask what I do, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah. Serial entrepreneur.
Let me know if you agree, Mr. Brooks, because one of the blessings of living in Houston is that our real estate market is a lot different than other markets in and around the country. Yeah. And it's almost like if you actually live in Houston, investing in real estate is something that should be mandatory.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Considering
part of
where
the
we
lifestyle,
are,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
part of the
100%.
lifestyle living here. Would you agree with that, Mr. Brooks?
I do totally agree with that. I mean, where our market is most definitely different than other places. That's probably why everyone is trying to poach their way into our
Yeah.
market.
Come on.
But I think that because of the like-mindedness that we have as a culture, especially our African American culture here, the way that we're starting to find ways to partner up and grow through the city in our minority areas and things of that matter is unspeakable. So I just love to see that power move that's taking place, and y'all are leaders in that, and I'm watching it. I just want y'all to know I see it. I'm like, yeah, I love it, man. So between y'all, Chris, and a few other people that are out there, y'all are leaders in making sure that our communities are growing and that they're growing through our dollars as well, right?
Absolutely.
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 And as you guys have been growing your business, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned throughout the process? Because experience is valuable and it's priceless to a
Absolutely.
certain extent. So, what is the biggest lesson that you've learned as an entrepreneur as you've decided to go on and build your brand?
Staying consistent.
Consistency is the key.
Consistency is the key into everything. I mean, I quit my job literally, and people thought I was crazy for doing it because I was making pretty good money what I was doing, and I quit it to do this, and it wasn't always pretty.
Right. No, and I want to ask you this because you brought it up. Let's talk a little bit about your life before entrepreneurship. No, because it's funny because I know we haven't had a chance to discuss these type of things, but I'm just curious from a background perspective.
Right.
What were you doing before you decided to take the plunge?
Right. So I was service manager at BMW. I was living in Florida. At the age of 23, had a position that most people take them to be 50 years old to get that position. And I had it at 23, yeah. And I was the darkest in the industry, too.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So, when I walked in the room, I set things apart, but I just knew that wasn't for me. Even though that's a dream job for most, and where I come from, South Park, growing up in South Park, going to school in 3rd Ward.
Come on now, H-Town, Texas,
know,
Hirschwood, all this.
My auntie,
South Park, Texas.
my mom used to drop me off, in 5th Ward and Trinity Gardens with my cousins up there on the north side. So I'm all over in the hood.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
no doubt. Yeah.
So what I was doing was a little bit different, and for me to leave that to do what I'm doing now, it was, it's truly a blessing. I'm happy I did it.
Hey, man. And same question for you, Miss Brittney. Can we talk about your life before business ownership and entrepreneurship?
Absolutely. I think I worked maybe 2 years after I graduated college in corporate America. And I was a financial aid advisor at Prairie View, where I graduated from. And it was extremely an unpleasant experience for me from the standpoint that I'm a very motivated, independent, kind of a wild person. Like, I like to adventure things and outgoing, outgoing, absolutely. Sitting in the cubicle, sitting in front of the computer answering phones, for me, it just got old really fast. In addition to that, my director was a little micromanaging, and I didn't really like that. I like my freedom. So from there, I started bartending, and I bartended for about 5 years, and I enjoyed the freedom and the liberty that I had. And I, at that time, I realized that there had to be something more to life than to be secluded to an 8-hour or 10-hour work schedule and have to request off and be denied for your vacation time. That just didn't fly for me. Wow. So one night I was at the bar, and it was a slow night, and the CEO, co-CEO and founder at the time of Appreciation Financial, Mr. Dominique Moore, he started talking to me and just really started asking me questions about, me, what I like to do, and all these great things, and he offered me an opportunity as an insurance agent. Oh, wow. And so that, to me, was the exposure that I needed to take things to the next level as an independent insurance agent, realtor, and so on. And so from there, I've gotten multiple insurance license, my real estate license. We started G&G Wealth Enterprises, and that's my story.
I think we got like 3 licenses this past.
Yeah,
We got 3 licenses together.
I don't know. It's something that me and Mr. Brooks talk about a lot amongst each other, is that the true reward of entrepreneurship is that you put in all the hard work so that your life can be yours.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing that you had your epiphany while being a bartender. You had your epiphany while being in a leadership position with Mercedes-Benz. But it's just amazing and a blessing how we all can come together of like mind
just with the same motivation, just at different parts of life. So
Absolutely.
that's one of the questions I always like to ask all of our guests, because when people tune into this podcast, I want them to not only just meet you all as entrepreneurs, but have an idea of what it takes to evolve the mindset needed, because I'm sure there's going to be someone who watches this episode of Prime Real Estate Network that's going to be in exactly the same position that you guys were in 5, 6, 10 years ago. So hopefully we can light that spark within them to get out of their comfort zone and do something and be more than what they might have imagined for themselves in the past.
Absolutely.
When we're going to take a short break, but if you guys don't mind, I would love for you to hang around with us and talk a little bit about your entrepreneurial evolution. Who's inspired you? Who served as a motivator?
Okay.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a short break to hear some messages from our sponsor, but please stay tuned to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. We'll be right back.
This is Rick Davis, realtor and host of the Prime Real Estate Network. Are you currently leasing or looking to relocate to the Houston area and you find yourself falling in love with a home but aren't quite in a position to purchase? Well, no worries. We offer the Right to Purchase program. We can place you in the home of your dreams at current market rental rates and give you up to 3 years to buy. Did you know that a majority of the homes that are for sale offer better quality than those that are for rent? So why wait? Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Let me and my team help you purchase a home that you and your family can fall in love with. Give me a call today at 832-928-3963. And remember to follow the Prime Real Estate Network podcast on YouTube, Facebook, iTunes, Spotify, and Google Play. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Be blessed.
Welcome back to the Prime Real Estate Network podcast. I'm your host, Rick Davis. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at Prime Real Estate Rick. If you're looking for the latest and greatest in men's and women's hats, fedoras, and designer sunglasses, please visit our sponsor at shopelitestyle.com. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in commercial or residential real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, please check us out at brooksanddavis.com. As always, my co-host in the building, entrepreneur, author, Texas real estate king, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. What's happening, bro?
Hey, man, I appreciate that warm welcome. And I want to also give a shout out to Tracy and Perry Homes. Just let them know that we're excited to be coming out there. For those of you that don't know, we're doing a vision board breakfast this Saturday. So make sure you come on out. It's going to be from 9 to 11. We're taking care of everything. We're going to have some breakfast there for you. We're going to have a special guest that we brought in from East Texas that's going to actually go through the whole vision board process. So the vision is going to be perfect for you, give you clear vision. So go you can take a look at this page. The page has it on there, or you can text me for more details, 281-924-4954. But it will be in Pearland, Texas this Saturday. Complimentary breakfast, and we're going to bring all the things you're going to need in order to put your vision board items together.
Absolutely, man. Big shout out. I want to introduce our guest, Mr. Ken Gilliard, CEO of G&G Wealth Enterprises, and Ms. Brittney Golden, the Executive VP of Ops at G&G Wealth Enterprises, man. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah,
No problem,
oh my
for
goodness.
sure.
Look, it's good to have the CEO and the Executive VP of Ops hanging around with us, man. With those kind of titles, I didn't think we were going to have this much fun, man. But y'all the coolest Executive VP and CEO we've had in the building this
Come on, man, we got the
so-
who's in the building,
Come
man.
on,
Stop
man.
playing,
Oh,
man.
Absolutely, man. People on my Facebook Live have been asking about the assets over liabilities, T, brother.
Oh,
so
man.
please give a shout out, Mr. Kid, about the assets over liabilities, T.
Shout out to Earn Your Leisure team, man. They I really believe in this shirt. I wear it a lot. Like I'm starting to wear it a little bit. I wear it so much because I believe in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people believe, it's good to make a lot of money. It's good to spend a lot of money, but it's good to, in my vision, it's good to have a lot of assets.
No
You
doubt
know what
about
I'm
it,
saying? Even though I like cars and I like having fun, but it's good to have my money in some type of asset that's making money for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting those guys when they came in. Was it early
October,
October that they came into the city, man. So I
Right.
thought that was great, and I saw that you guys put on an event shortly after that one of the wealth building events as well, right?
And of course, Ken, no one's a better a better resource to go to as far as assets over liability than somebody who's a Mercedes-Benz aficionado like yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You definitely know what to not invest in and what to invest in.
I unfortunately invest in cars. That's my
No, my dude, you think you're not going to be my new go-to? I don't need U.S. News and World Report no more. I can just text Kid, what you think about this? Man, what this number look like? I want to thank you so much, Kid. We've been having a ball with you on and off wax, so appreciate you.
Absolutely.
Miss Brittney, I'm glad you're sitting in with us, and I want to ask you this question because Larry and myself ask our guests this every week. When you go back to your childhood, is there any members of your family, extended family, a mentor, or anyone that could serve as an inspiration as far as who motivated you to look at yourself as a businesswoman and an entrepreneur?
I would have to say all of the women in my immediate family has motivated and inspired me. I lost my mom when I was 10 years old, and so I looked up to my sister, my aunts, my grandmother. None of them were entrepreneurs, but they all worked extremely hard, especially my mom's sister. She was a single mom. My sister and grandmother were both married. So just looking at them work hard, take care of the family, like that inspired me enough. Entrepreneurship more came about from the people that I hung around and the people that I gravitated to. They inspired me more to go out there and, be independent entrepreneur, and then just not wanting to be in that cubicle type of environment had inspired me mostly.
And Ken, same question for you, brother, because I'm curious, when you think back to your childhood and upbringing, who lit that spark in you believe?
I believe, my aunties and uncles, they, majority of them, they raised themselves. Their parents died. My grandpa and grandpa died when they were young. And like my oldest uncle had a middle school education, and he was a multi-millionaire before he passed away.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Right? And so now, now his grandchildren is running for city council, and even the Sacramento Kings donated their basketball court to my family church in California.
Oh, wow.
Right. And then just my family here in Houston, a lot of them are entrepreneurs, work for themselves, and they're well off.
And there's no better legacy than that. Right. That's crazy. I had no idea.
And it's not like the hand-me-down type stuff in my family. They expect you to go out and get it yourself.
No doubt.
And if you don't do it, they will let you know. My family hard.
They gonna roast you. They hardcore, bro.
They hard. You know what I'm saying? And just like Brittney's story, like I lost my dad when I was young, so I looked up to those people. Especially the men in my family.
Right.
Because I didn't have that at the house. My mom, she was strong, strong woman. You know what I mean? She is a very strong woman. And she laid the ground for me, and then it was up to me to take it from there. So,
Larry, can you and I know you host with me every week, but could you share with our audience a little bit about your story coming up as an entrepreneur? Because it's so funny how these things tend to mirror when you see successful business people. Can you talk a little bit about who inspired you young and who motivated you?
It's kind of the same thing. So I was raised by my grandmother, and so I was able to see my grandmother was a Ku Klux lady in the community. Right?
Come on, man, you better stop. You already know what it is.
Yeah. So when I was about 6 or 7, I had my own little cutting yards business. So I would cut everybody up and down the street's yards. That $5 went a long way back then.
Come on, man.
5 for the front, 5 for the back.
You better stop playing.
And so, but I had an opportunity just to see how she handled that. And then my grandmother, her job was, she was, I guess you could just say a maid for rich people. So literally she would go and serve them all day and then come home and take care of us. And in between she would sell Ku Cups. And so I had an opportunity just to see that vision, which kind of laid the foundation on the way that I am now when it comes to just finding businesses, multiple streams of income, and just trying to make sure that I leave a legacy, because she was able to leave a legacy of understanding and the principle of always trying to find a way to be successful. So,
it's interesting because there's only so much you can learn about people from researching them online. So I want to ask Miss Brittney this question because I'm sure there's going to be other hospitality professionals who view this episode. Can you give some advice to those aspiring entrepreneurs who may be waitresses, bartenders, maybe a valet parker or a porter at a hotel? Because there are so many people who serve in those capacities that have the same motivations that we all have, but for whatever reason can't just make that jump for themselves. Do you have any advice for anybody who's serving in a similar position that you held before?
Absolutely. as we, are raised to, go to school and get a job, use that same time, that effort, that energy into your own business. As a waitress or a bartender or a valet person, you tend to have, a very flexible schedule where your daytime is really free. And so what I would do is actually use that time to study and to learn more about my professional career of choice. And, we tend to really not do so well with money, but just get into a point where you're very disciplined, because those fields are really cash-based businesses.
Absolutely.
So it's really hard to be disciplined, but you just really have to get committed and get clear. There's a lot of motivating and inspiring people in those industries that you could gravitate to and learn from, but just really getting clear on the free time that you do have to use that to learn and grow.
And Ken, similar question for you. What advice would you give to any young Kens grinding right now, coming up out the Trey and Harlem Clark, as far as what their future could be if they put some work in?
I just say, man, just believe in yourself, believe in your vision, and just know that the other side of fear is success. A lot of times people don't take that step because they're scared of failure, but I view failure as an opportunity to learn from it. I went and spoke at the Provision School last week, and I didn't even know that school existed. It's over there in Sunnyside. And it's an alternative school for kids that does bad things, and they get kicked out of regular school. And me speaking there, I'm talking about real estate, and I'm putting numbers on the board. These kids are comprehending.
No doubt.
Oh no, you talking real numbers, right?
Right. And then I'm like, oh, they really into this.
Come on,
right?
stop.
Because I'm telling them, you don't have to go to college for this. We spend what, $2,000 on licenses, and I'm able to yield $1 million income.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
And it helps when you're speaking at a school like that, because
Absolutely.
they probably already discouraged, because maybe in their family no one has ever been to college, so you don't know what that stepping stone looks like. Because even I think about that, even myself, I'd be like, I never really knew what that vision looked like. It just happened to me. Absolutely. But yeah, you speaking at that school, I guarantee you that was hitting home for them.
Oh, they was. It was a few of them. I was like, let me get your information.
Come on, man,
They
stop.
had this
You already
vision.
know.
I was like, whoa.
Exactly.
16, 17 years old with this vision of, I talk to people that's 30, 40, and they're like still stuck. And I'm like, this is amazing.
What makes what you do at those type of educational institutes and schools so valuable is that every young person, from a personality standpoint, isn't really equipped to do the classroom setting. But that don't mean they won't go out and get it.
Right.
And I think what you're running into are those grinders who are so excited and have so much energy that they can't do 8 hours sitting in a desk listening.
Right, exactly.
They want that, what they call it, real world experience.
Hello.
They want to get it out there, learn through experience. So that's invaluable. I want to urge you to continue doing that, because that is so powerful. Anything that we can do at Brooks and Davis or the Prime Real Estate Network to support any of those type of activities, we're definitely all in. So please keep us abreast of anything that's going on.
Well, let me ask you. So since you guys y'all best to be serial entrepreneurs, and y'all have what most people wish they had, which is time freedom, right? Not saying that you don't work hard, it just means that you dictate what your time, what you want to do with your time. What do y'all do to relax? Like, what does a kickback look like in you guys' case?
So we actually just came from a 2-day quick trip from Cancun.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a good kickback, no doubt about it. Go see some sun. Yeah.
Hey, my laptop was right next to me though. But kickback and beach, travel,
and sleep.
Yeah.
I love to sleep, and I get to sleep when I want to sleep. And
it's
I
funny
because
Eddie Murphy was saying the same thing. Eddie Murphy's like, I just like not doing nothing.
Exactly.
Like, I was looking at him on some show. He was like, I just like not doing nothing. So I'm like that too.
Well, I have to remind myself sometimes that when I'm talking to my friends that have to get up, go to work in the morning, that y'all can't play around and chill.
But no, you do that because that's motivation. I always tell all the young people that I have an opportunity to speak to is that when I was a teenager and in my early 20s, I used to just listen to rap music.
Right.
And the thing that these boys would talk about is they was building their companies and Cash Money and No Limits was get money, have a company, be rich. And you'd be shocked at how much of a motivator that can be. So all your friends who punching that clock every day, you call them from Cancun.
Exactly.
Because it's not like the education and the information you have, you're going to hide from them.
Right.
You just waiting for them to come and ask you for it.
Absolutely.
So continue doing what you're doing, man. Anybody from the Prime Real Estate Network audience who want to meet, greet, interact with you guys personally, what do you guys have coming up in the near future where they might interact with you all?
Okay, on November 26th, we have our second Investor One-on-One workshop. And there you'll be able to really kind of get a hands-on experience of what it takes to get started in the flipping aspect of real estate. It's something that we've been doing and we've had some grand success, so we're just there to share the information and assist you guys. If you need realty assistance, if you need lending assistance, insurance assistance, we're there to help be the, that one-stop shop for you to get your services done.
And it's free.
And it's free.
No doubt.
And it's free.
And
Let's
it's
get
free.
that plug.
Hey,
No doubt
man,
about
because
it.
they're none better than gratis.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come
Mr.
gain that
Brooks,
knowledge.
what we got popping, man? Let's remind everybody about the events.
I'll be out at the Vision Board on Saturday. It's in Pearland, Texas. Go to LarryWBrooks.com. You'll be able to see the details, and you'll be able to RSVP. That's important so that we make sure we got enough food and breakfasts for everyone out there, and enough of the supplies that we're going to need to make your Vision Board come possible. So, again, go to LarryWBrooks.com. You'll be able to see the event information.
Hey, man, on behalf of myself, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, and our guests, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank all of our sponsors, Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, Shop Elite Style, Shop LWB, Pure Hustle, and everybody. I urge you all, if you haven't had a chance, please stop by the new PrimeRealEstatePodcast.com. We have all of our episodes archived, and you can join our weekly newsletter. Thank you so much. If you need anything, we're always here. I want to thank you for tuning into the Prime Real Estate Network podcast, and be blessed.
Thank you.
Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, LLC is marketing a property for sale right now that you can buy. These properties range from land lots for under $20,000 to move-in ready homes $500,000 and more, along with everything in between. To see this week's list of properties for sale you can buy now, go to bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. That's bit.ly/BDREF weekly list. If you plan on selling some real estate and you need it on the weekly list, call 713-665-8329 to speak with someone about it.